Hey guys, Mr. SLIN here with another fan demo review. If you guys want to get your own demo reviewed, feel free to post it at my Discord channel, discord.gg/MrSlin. It's a great place to meet other people, ask questions, etc., etc. Today's demo comes from NaDE, who is an open medic who plays in ETF2L. NaDE, happy to review your gameplay today here on CP Process, and already showing that you got the rollout down, and you guys are going for a left-sided mid push. Cardfight Gamer gets a pick here, and you're playing very safe, which I actually really appreciate. A lot of medics playing too aggressive these days. Your demo man's in a lot of trouble, but you're doing a great job taking almost no damage at all on that mid. Very skillfully done. I liked what I saw there, and your team has a pretty large advantage now. A couple times in this demo, you'll see me do some fast forwarding like this. That's just to get us past the slow parts and get to the part where you're screwing up. But for the most part, looking pretty solid here, and with their medic being dead, you have a full Uber advantage to push last with, so you're leading with your demo in, bringing both your soldiers with you on a one-man disadvantage. And you guys are putting some point pressure down, stacking it up, getting that cap, and that looks just fine to me. Heading over to the second middle. Pretty smooth so far. And grabbing onto your demo scouts. This time your soldier goes down pretty early, and you're thinking about leaving, which I think is a smart move for you. Now you're coming back in. Now you're leaving. Which one is it? Oh boy. All right, NaDE, you're in a lot of trouble right now. You got to get your butt out of there, and you're dead. All right. Well, I think you had the right idea the first time there. The very first opportunity, when as soon as your soldier died, you played towards sewers. That was the right call. You did the right thing by playing towards sewers, away from where you could possibly die. And I think you should have stayed near the sewer door so you could leave had one more person gone down. You could have left 5 versus 6, but leaving 4 versus 6 is definitely a must. And getting out choke is harder to do. And from here, the enemy team rolls their Uber into last. Just as a side note, like when the enemy team takes their Uber down the deep right side of last, down the shutter side of last, you want to switch to the left side as soon as possible. Those rotations need to be fast. They need to be crisp. You need to move quickly and get over to that left side a little bit sooner. And because you took so long, your team is having a harder time contesting this. I think you actually could have potentially held last had you rotated faster, delivered heals to your left side spawn door. So these rounds are going mighty fast. All right, into the third middle. And this has been pretty routine so far, to be honest. So you guys are going back to what you know, going back to that left side mid. And I like how you're playing your health pack here, dodging the spam. Woo! All right, so you're again cardfight cardfight gamer goes down. You're a player down here, and you need to be thinking about how can you potentially leave should things be not going your way. And you can already tell things are not going your way. Yep, you're gonna make it out here. This is like the riskiest way to play this. I'm not gonna lie. I think that a better player would have put more pressure onto you and gotten you into a lot more trouble. When you're backing out of middle, you're shading towards sewers the first time I saw this, and then the second time I saw this, you shaded towards IT. Both of those are great opportunities for you to leave. You don't always have to leave through the choke. And the fact you got out alive here is, it's a good thing. That's definitely what you wanted to do. I just feel like there's a way for you to do it that was less risky, because an enemy player who was a little bit more skilled would have just jumped behind you and choke and forced your Uber, which you didn't want to do. Looks like their Uber gets forced pretty early in lobby thanks to your sniper. You're rotating left to help out your teammates. I like how you're milking the Uber here and popping back into them 3 versus 5. Getting a pick, but you guys are really, really defensive. Is there a player behind you? I don't think there is. No, there's no player behind you. You guys are just very, very defensive. I think you guys popped Uber so much later than them. You could have taken that Uber into the enemy team in lobby and gotten some more kills with that. I also would like to see you guys, when you're popping Uber second, whenever you pop an Uber with an advantage, whenever you pop an Uber that's better than their Uber, you should be popping into them with a scout, because the scout is the best cleanup class in the game. And the only downside for a scout is that he has a very low health pool. So by Ubering a scout, you're directly countering his primary weakness. So in the future, pop Uber second, great. Pop on a scout, even better. And right here, you guys are down 2 players. I think one of your teammates disconnected. Oh no, Cardfight swapped teams randomly. So I think they're being good sports and letting you guys kind of reset things. Nope, they're just going to go for that push. And what I don't like about that right there is that you were the first person being shot at. Even though their scout was just straight up missing you, that's not the point. The point is that you were playing close to choke because you wanted to get a good Uber off, but you need to make a decision. Are you Ubering into them or are you backing off? And that indecisiveness is going to hurt you later on. Just pick a decision. If you're going to go into them, stay at the choke. If you're going to leave, don't be the first person being shot at. Your Uber's going to pop better. Again, when you pop an Uber better, I'd like to see you bring in a scout, but bringing in a soldier here is just fine. There is a soldier behind you that you need to be worried about, and you guys clean him up. Fantastic. And the push. Good, good. This is good stuff. This is really good. So far, mostly good gameplay, actually, with a couple questionable moments, like that one right there. Make sure you look at the soldier who is forcing you. But overall, like, I don't like to criticize gameplay when it's working. So it doesn't matter how bad your movement is or how bad your aim is. If you live, that's what's supposed to have happened. So technically, you did the right thing. There's just minor improvements that you can make. As someone who's more experienced, just looking at this gameplay, I'm like, oh my god, I'm pretty sure someone would have forced me there. But at this level, you're doing just fine. Now you guys are down 2 players. I would like to see you back off to middle and defend despite the 60% advantage. What the red team should be doing to you right now is getting behind you and then surrounding you for an Uber force. And what's instead happening here is that they're just sitting back on second point, not even building Uber, expecting you to push with a 4-on-6 Uber, which is not going to happen. So I think the enemy team is just giving you a bit of a break here. And in the future, I wouldn't rely on this kind of sewer hold to work out for you, because the enemy team should be coming through IT or PC and getting that back cap, getting that force. Looks like the Ubers have evened out, so you guys are probably going to go for a sacrifice play. So kind of fast forwarding here to see when that comes in. All right, looks like you guys are maneuvering towards IT for that force. And you actually get a kill onto a roaming soldier, which is actually really, really good for you guys. That makes it that much harder for them to force your Uber. So the next play you should go for here, and I covered this in my last YouTube video, so if you want to check that out. The play that you should be going for here, it's even Uber 6-on-5. You want to be pushing into second point, forcing LSD, and not using Uber first. That's the play you want to go for. But in order to do that, they're going to be sticking out this lower doorway here. You want to be getting players in through the flank. So through sewers, down that deep left side to try and get in and break through these choke points here. Because you need, in order to force the next exchange to happen, you need to break through a choke point. And there's 3 or 4 choke points that you could choose from to get into this next area. You should not be like blocked from getting in here. There's someone on your team who can get in when there's a roaming soldier down. And unfortunately for you, you guys are taking just a little bit too long. Muzbend has respawned, and you've kind of lost that opportunity. So I think the difference between a high-level player and a low-level player is just recognizing an opportunity when they see one, and getting that kill on a soldier is a huge opportunity for you to push and try and force that Uber from the enemy medic. So continuing to, I'm still fast-forwarding here because I just want to wait for something to happen. Looks like you guys go for a scout sacrifice play. And Muzbend dies for the counter sacrifice, taking down your roaming soldier. And they're getting impatient. They go for the Uber exchange. So this is, again, another opportunity for you. And I've seen this happen 3 times now in this game, where you have at least 4 seconds more Uber than they will. And you're choosing to go into them with a demo soldier instead of a scout. It doesn't matter if it's demo scout or if it's soldier scout. I don't care. Just pick the scout. Cardfight Gamer should be regrouping with you and taking that Uber in to kill them. In the way we play in North America, we typically do it with a soldier scout, but in Europe, I realize that they use a lot of demo man too. It doesn't really matter to me which one you do. The important part is getting a scout in here to help you clean up. Because the issue that you just ran into right here is that even though you guys have a better Uber, Cardfight took a 1v1 against their demo man and lost. And rather than it being a one-on-one, you guys need to play together as a team. And that's why I emphasize in my demo reviews that you should be balling up and grouping together so often, because playing together as a team will give you better focus fire. And a scout doesn't really excel in initiating fights as much as he does at cleaning up fights. Like, scouts can initiate fights if they have to, but you don't want to make your scouts do it if there's an option to not. And right here, you're seeing a perfect opportunity with 4 seconds more Uber to not have to do that. You want your scouts to be cleaning up the frags, not starting the frags. I think it's a little bit backwards to have a scout start the fight and have a soldier clean it up. It should be the other way around. And from your perspective as a medic, you can't always control what your scouts are doing, but a lot of medics will be main calling because you control the Ubers. You control when that Uber pops and when they pop their Ubers, and you should be telling your teammates what they should be doing to make your Ubers better. And when you pop an Uber that's so much better than theirs, you need the help of your teammates to really convert. All right, so they're going to pop an Uber. You don't have yours. Again, rotate to that left side faster because there's nothing you can possibly do on the right side against all these players. Yeah, especially when they have Uber, there's just nothing you can do. Whereas on the left side of the map, you can still exert pressure on the point without committing your body to a bad situation. All right, another midpoint. You guys are trading players. Things are not looking bad for you right now. One thing that I would note right here is that you had a soldier on the left side, Super Ivano, who is your pocket soldier, I think, but he's playing. Actually, no, he's not your pocket soldier. He's your roaming soldier. So you're buffing your roaming soldier before he goes for the bomb, right? You're expecting your soldier to bomb into them, do a lot of damage, and you're buffing him to prepare him for that. That's not the right approach. And I'm not saying that that approach in general is bad. It's just the timing of it is not good. Because it's fine to do that when nothing is happening, but when your teammates are actively being shot at, you should heal the people who are getting shot at. It's always, almost always, like 99.9% of the time, it's better to heal someone who's getting shot at than someone who's not getting shot at. Because the difference between being able to shoot a rocket and not being able to shoot a rocket is whether or not you're alive or dead. It's not, I can only shoot rockets if I have 200 health or more. Does that make sense? Like, you only need 1 health in order to do your job. And you need to be keeping the most number of players alive, not necessarily the most number of players healthy. And so I would way rather have 6 players alive, but all of them are extremely hurt, than only 3 players alive, but all of them are super buffed. And the problem with healing someone who's not getting shot at is that you're buffing people who are not going to die anytime soon. Whereas the people who are dying are not getting healed. And those people who are dying are the people at the choke point here who are clearly getting shot at by the scout and soldier. So rather than focusing your efforts on the left side here, I'd way rather you heal people who are getting shot at by the rock. And that was a really long-winded way to explain that. But overall, let's see how this plays out. You guys are getting frags. It's actually working out okay for you guys. But again, just putting a little bit too many heals into this left side soldier when there's not a single red player over there. And see, look at Super Ivano. Despite you putting extra heals into Super Ivano, he never got shot that entire middle. That entire mid, he played left side, he jumped up in the air a couple times, he played the top right side crate. Go back and watch it. He never got shot. So you're just dumping heals into something that doesn't matter. Nice. You guys killed that guy. I mean, I think it's good that you popped the Uber there because you don't want to drop it. But in the future, you should not get forced. Actually, the way I would have played that in order to not get forced, and this is like a high level play that you could make instead as opposed to an open level play, is you could have been playing it middle instead. Because you know that you have an 80% Uber advantage over the enemy medic, the only way you don't completely roll this round is by getting forced. They're clearly running a sniper right now. Their entire objective is to force you. So a lot of times I just let my teammates capture 4th point for me, and I don't even come into the next point yet. I just stay back on middle, let them capture it, and then let them tell me the coast is clear. So that way I never pop Uber here on 4th point. And unfortunately now you're giving the red team an opportunity to defend because you popped Uber. And oh, this is a sniper sight line. Never stand there, just FYI. That sniper on the deep right side of lobby can actually hit that top left side where you're standing right now. Okay, so you know they have an Uber advantage because you popped Uber and their medic did not. Luckily for you, their Uber advantage is not anything significant. So you have plenty of time to work with here to heal up your soldier and set up the next play. Jelly Ninja unfortunately going down. You know that they are thinking about peeking you, maybe trying to force you. Again, this top left side, like this angle is really stressing me out here. Look at this angle all the way through that sniper. He can actually see your feet. That's why he's crouching. He's trying to look at your foot and hit you and body shot you there. So you just can't let that happen. Looks like Muzbin gets caught out. So this is the play again that we talked about before. 6 versus 5 even Ubers. Actually, 6 versus 4 now. This is even better for you guys. So you guys need to push in together as a team and try and force their Uber. If they're stuffing you in the rollout, get Cardfight Gamer, get a couple other players, get your roaming soldier to get into lobby and make some space down the deep right side in order to open up the left side of the map. When everyone stacks the same choke point, it's easier to get your Uber forced. You want to make sure they pop first. So that's exactly what you're doing. Super Ivano going for that force, gets it there, and you can just, you're so safe right now. Like, I saw this happen a couple other times in this game where you couldn't decide whether or not you're going to stay in or back out. You're so close to a doorway. It could have gone either way, stay in or get out. If you would have chose to stay in, you should be saving Super Ivano with your Uber. You should not be letting him die if you're going to choose to stay in. If you're going to play by this doorway and let Super Ivano and Jelly Ninja die, you should be playing out. As soon as those players die, it's 4 versus 5 or 4 versus 6, potentially, depending on when their demo man spawns. Just back out to fourth point, and then don't pop the Uber, and make them jump into your terrible Uber. You're kind of doing that right now, where you're making them jump into their terrible Uber, but you just don't have enough players alive to kill anything. And that's exactly the problem you saw right here, is that your demo man was like, oh crap, I have to get in here and help you. And your pocket soldier's like, oh crap, I just used all my rockets trying to force LSD, and now I have nothing loaded. I gotta make something happen here. He's jumping towards the point because you popped that Uber. And you guys are trying to chase good after bad. So yeah, the play right there was to not pop Uber at all. Was to drop as many players as you needed to and just not pop Uber. Back out to the choke, and then wait for respawners, and then push last with Uber advantage. That was the play. All right, so now you're waiting for them to potentially push in, and Cardfight Gamer goes down. This is really, really bad for you guys. You guys are down 2 players, and you cannot be here. As you can see, you were waiting for them to come choke or maybe sewers. But now you realize you're in a terrible position because they're about to get behind you and cut you off with Uber, preventing you from leaving. Holding choke is not a good idea when you have Uber disadvantage. You only want to hold choke when you have Uber. And because you were holding so close to choke, you're going to get caught out here. That's exactly what happened. Next time you don't have Uber and you know they have Uber, you should be holding behind the spire. There's 2 places you can hold. One hold is a little bit more aggressive. That would be right here. The second hold is more defensive. That would be right here. And I prefer this spot right here. Sometimes if the team is really fast that I'm playing against, I play right here. And this guarantees you do not die. All right. So I think I covered enough things in this game. Obviously, I thought you had some pretty good mid fights. And I thought the first round was very clean for you guys. I thought it was really well played. Later on, the enemy team started figuring out a little bit more, and it really started to show the weakness of your Ubers. So the first tip that I would give you is get a scout in on your Ubers. You need a scout there as a cleanup class to get frags, and a lot of your Ubers did not have a scout in them, even though you popped an advantage Uber or a better Uber than theirs. So that's the first tip. Second tip I would give you is be decisive. You're playing near doorways and you're playing near places that you can escape, but you're kind of staying in anyways. If you're going to stay in, just stay in. If you're going to get out, play near that doorway and then get out and just stick to that decision. Don't chase good after bad. Don't throw players in to try and salvage a play when the play is lost. There's 5 control points, plenty of space to work with. Feel free to give up a point if your team makes a mistake, or if you guys are making a sacrifice play, make it a sacrifice play. Don't make it a sacrifice play that turned into you popping Uber. So I hope you enjoyed this review. Hope you guys learned something. If you guys want to submit your own gameplay for me to review, do it over on my Discord, discord.gg/MrSlin, and I look forward to seeing you guys on the next video.